In John chapter 10, in the verses 14 and the following verses there, we see that Jesus is speaking of himself, and he's given a prophecy. And of course, that prophecy of him going to the cross. It says in John 10:14, I am the good shepherd, and I know my own, and my own knows me, even as the Father knows me, and I know the Father. And I lay down my life for the sheep. And in verse 7, for this reason the Father loves me, because I lay down my life so that I may take it up again. Verse 18, no man taketh it from me, but I lay it down on my own initiative. I have authority to lay it down, and I have authority to take it up again. This is the commandment I received from my Father. You know, as the Jews were trying to get rid of Jesus, I'm sure they, in their mind, was saying, he claims to be the Son of God, but we put him on the cross, there's no way he's going to be the Son of God. They were trying to get rid of him for sure, because out of jealousy and out of afraid for their losing their position. And they did succeed in putting Jesus on the cross. But this verse here tells me that Jesus was in control at all times. He had the power to lay his life down, his own life down, and he had the power to take it up again. But he says that power was given to him from the Father. Now, at any moment, Jesus could call it quits, and he could have walked away. You know, we were talking about coming and getting him in the garden, and Judas betraying him, and they bind him and took him before the council in the middle of the night. At any point, Jesus decided that I'm not doing this. He could have walked away. He had the power to do so, and he exhibited that power when we were talking about earlier about when in Nazareth, when they took him up to the edge of the hill and was going to throw him off. He walked right through the crowd, and nobody laid a hand on him. He had the power to just release himself and do whatever he wanted to do. But what he wanted to do was fulfill the Father's wishes. And his Father's wish was for him to go to the cross and die for our sins. He went to the cross to die for my sins. And that's amazing love. And as we come around this table, we remember that sacrifice that Jesus chose to make. He had the power to lay it down, his own life, and nobody took it away from him. We thought, well, the people thought that the Jews were putting him to death, but Jesus submitted to that. He allowed them to do that to him. He didn't have to do it, but he chose to, because he loved us that much. Would you bow your heads with me?